For the second straight year, I think the Utah Jazz had a fantastic NBA draft. They landed Cody Williams with the 10th overall pick, got an absolute steal with Isaiah Collier at the end of the first round, and getting Kyle Filipowski in the early second, a borderline first round talent, I think was a great get as well. And they do have a big decision to make this offseason. They got to figure out, are they trading away Lauri Markkanen? And I think for today's video, we're going to be doing just that. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? We are going to be rebuilding the Utah Jazz, who are in a weird position right now because are they as good as the Timberwolves, the Grizzlies, the Lakers, any of those Western Conference teams that are competing for a championship next year? No. I don't even think they're better than the Clippers, the Warriors, or the Rockets on paper. So this team is not winning a title with this roster right now, but they have a lot of young talent right now. They have Walker Kessler, who was maybe somewhat down in year number 2, but you hope he can bounce back in year number 3. Drafted Taylor Hendricks in the top 10 last year. Drafted Bryce Sensabaugh in the first round. Drafted Cody Williams 10th overall this year. Got Isaiah Collier as well. Keontae George last year in the first round. There's a lot of young talent on this team, and they got to figure out, do they want to pay Lauri Markkanen $50 million a year? Because say in the middle of this rebuild, when Lauri Markkanen is, say, like in year 3 of that contract, it's going to be a lot harder to trade him at $50 million. And I think his value may not get as high as it is right now because Markkanen making $18 million a year is a lot more valuable than him making $50 million a year. So I think we're going to trade Markkanen before the season starts. And a team that has a lot of young talent right now is the San Antonio Spurs, but I may not even want any of those guys. I want to see what our young core can do. So we can easily match the contracts with Zach Collins, but I want some draft capital. So I want this Hawks first round pick, which is going to be in the Cooper Flag draft, which is this upcoming year. I'll take the Hawks pick later on as well. And could I maybe get the San Antonio Spurs pick in, let's say, 2027? Sure. We'll see if we can get 3 first round picks unprotected for Lauri Markkanen, who's in a walk year, and Zach Collins. They say no to that. They would want Filipowski, which we're just not doing. So I will take off that last Spurs pick if we can get at least these 2 Hawks picks, which I think can be very valuable. And they say no. They want Johnny Juzang, who actually just signed an extension with Utah, but I'm not going to let that not get this deal done. So we're going to get some nice draft capital in return for Lauri Markkanen. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of young talent on this team, and Lauri Markkanen's really good. Like, he may go for more than that in real life. We're going to see what Keontae George can do as our starting point guard. Him and Sexton are going to be in this backcourt, and even Sexton could be a trade deadline candidate as well. I would love to move Jordan Clarkson. He's probably going to get like 28 minutes tonight. I'm really big on Taylor Hendricks. He's going to start there at the 5. We're going to have John Collins coming off the bench. Maybe we look to move him next offseason as well, but he's going to be somebody that is just going to be playing a decent amount of minutes off the bench. Like, we have Drew Eubanks, who I'll probably play over Zach Collins, who we just picked up. I'm going to give Cody Williams 24 minutes tonight. I'd like to give Isaiah Collier about 16. And then the last 7 minutes, I'm probably going to go to Bryce Sensabaugh, which means Kyle Filipowski might not crack the rotation this year. So we are going to send him to the G League. We just have a lot of big men on this team, including Summer League legend Kenneth Lofton. So system proficiency under Will Hardy, who in my opinion is a good coach. And I think like the Jazz, if they're bad next year, that's fine because they can land a Cooper Flag or an Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper in a loaded 2025 draft. And even it's okay if they're bad in 2026 because that is a loaded draft class as well. And then you add in those Cavs first, those Timberwolves first from the Gobert and Mitchell trade. They're going to be possibly looking really good in a couple of years. So I'm okay being bad in the 2025 season. And a quick update here at January 11th, we are 11-28 on the season, so we're not doing too hot. Colin Sexton is our leading scorer, and I think we could get some good value for him at the deadline. But obviously, I don't really need that many more young talent. I mean, like, we could get another guy. I mean, Jordan Clarkson, I think, is definitely playing well enough where we can get a nice return for him. And Sexton does have a couple more years, so I can move him in the offseason as well. But we got to find, like, minutes for these guys to grow on this team. Collins playing well. Does he have a player option at the end of this year, or is it so it is this offseason? Honestly, as a good offensive big man, like, he could definitely get some empty stats on this team and can bump up that trade value. I need Keontae George to be better for sure. Cody Williams, inefficient his rookie year, which is fine. Hendricks, 38 from 3, 46 from the field. I will take that. Collier, honestly, not too bad. There's Walker Kessler, who has been thrown around in trade talks as well, but I don't think the Jazz should move him at all. So I think there's 2 guys that could get traded at the deadline. I don't think I'm going to be able to move Collins, and I also don't mind having Collins on this team in the future. We need some veterans, but I think 2 guys that could get moved, most likely is Jordan Clarkson, and then potentially Colin Sexton if there's a good deal on the table. So we are here at the trade deadline with a 12-41 record. We are not good. The Spurs are 26-25 with Lauri Markkanen. Offensively, though, we are currently the worst team in the Western Conference. Defensively, we are also the worst team. Wow, we are pretty much the worst team in the NBA. Shows you how much Lauri Markkanen was keeping this team alive. Keontae George's efficiency has not been good at all. I think Jordan Clarkson has good enough numbers where I'm going to be able to move him at the deadline. So let's start to figure that out. All right, one deal I'm going to try to figure out if I could do is Jordan Clarkson going back to the Lakers, where he did start his career all the way back in 2015. Could we move him for Gabe Vincent, who we do have to pay $11 million this year and next year too, but we get a Lakers future first round pick I don't know if they would do this, but let's see. They want a trade exception. So they want a swap with the Clippers this year. I don't have any seconds to move. That is kind of brutal. I would throw in like a random player, like a Darius Bazley, but they really can't do that right now. So honestly, I think those Lakers picks could be good. Could I give you like this 2028 first? So I think I get a more valuable first in exchange for Jordan Clarkson, and they agree to that. And I think that's going to be it for me this year. I'm not going to make any other trades. And Luka Doncic wins the 2025 MVP award with Matas Buzelis being your Rookie of the Year. Russell Westbrook 6th Man of the Year, Wemby D-Point, Most Improved Jalen Johnson, and Anthony Edwards Clutch Player of the Year. So the only award we got here was Cody Williams on All-Rookie Second Team, and honestly, I will take those numbers. I think he's going to be more of a small forward for us next year now that Jordan Clarkson is off this team. The Spurs with Lauri Markkanen were a playing tournament team, so we finished the season 20-62, worst record in the NBA. But if we know anything with the worst record in the NBA, just ask the Pistons. It's not going to be a guaranteed lock in the draft lottery. So I'm hoping I can bring Cooper Flag here to Utah. I almost said LA, but I don't know if that is going to happen. And we're going to have to pay Walker Kessler soon. Like, we're going to have to pay some of these young guys very soon. Luka Doncic, Western Conference Finals MVP, and Tatum, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So we have a rematch of last year's NBA Finals, and this time the Dallas Mavericks win in 6 games. Luka averaged a 35-point triple-double. That is absurd. So there goes LeBron on the Lakers, Chris Paul on the Spurs, Al Horford, end of an era. Russell Westbrook retires as well. DeAndre Jordan also. So now it is draft lottery time. Are we going to get lucky? We'll see. I don't think we have any other picks here, so it's going to be our pick, which is top 10 protected. We do not have to worry about that. Let's see what's going to happen here. Come on, give me some luck. And that pick actually drops to 5. I hate this game, man. Once you get the number 1 pick, you're guaranteed dropping to 5. So the Blazers win pretty much the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. We are going to keep Will Hardy as our head coach. We do have multiple first-round picks as well. I mean, like, we could keep Colin Sexton around. We're probably just going to have to hold on to the Collins and Vincent contract. Like, we're not going to really have cap space for how bad this team was. Like, Drew Eubanks as well. Like, most of these guys under contract are just, like, subpar veterans. So let's see who falls to 5 for us. The Trailblazers at number 1. They are going to select Drake Powell out of UNC. All right, that is an interesting number 1 selection. Cooper Flag. Okay, so the Spurs were that bad still. Cooper Flag ends up going to San Antonio. All right, so you have... Wait, did they get lucky in the lottery? Oh my god, so they have Cooper Flag, Lauri Markkanen, and Victor Wembanyama. All right, they get rewarded for trading for Lowry. Trey Johnson goes 3, Ace Bailey 4. And at number 5, I'm going to be taking my point guard for the future. This is probably going to move Keontae George to the 2-guard spot. We're getting Nolan Traore from France. We're also going to take Ian Jackson, the teammate of Drake Powell, who went number 1 overall out of UNC here. And of course, the Hawks were really good. So we have like a late first rounder. Yeah, not great in a return for Lauri Markkanen. I'm going to take Isaiah Evans, a shooting guard out of Duke. Yeah, I still can't believe Drake Powell ended up going number 1. Let's sign all 3 of these rookies. So I have another 3 rookies that I want to play next year. John Collins opts into his player option. We're going to pick up the team options on Kessler, George, Hendricks, and Bryce Sensabaugh. We do have a little bit of cap space to spend, but like, look how crowded this front court is right now. So I don't really think I'm going to make any moves there. I think Cody Williams, I'm going to actually change his position to a small forward. Does he go up in overall? Wait, I don't want to do that to Eubanks. Yeah, he goes up, which is nice. And I think his secondary position, I'm actually going to make it a power forward. So like point guard next year, I'm going to start Nolan Traore. I think I'm going to actually have Keontae George start as the 2-guard, and then we're going to have Colin Sexton, going to get a ton of minutes, but off the bench, and he could be a trade deadline candidate next year as well. So yeah, we do have a little bit of money to spend, but I'm not really going to use it out there this offseason. We'll see if Markkanen goes back to Utah, or excuse me, San Antonio. Well, he doesn't even have a current offer out there right now. And for $30 million a year, that is actually a great deal. So how is Markkanen? What is San Antonio doing, man? They ended up not re-signing him. Wow, he goes to Brooklyn, 4 years, $122 million. That's a home run of a signing for Brooklyn. I guess they got Cooper Flag, and they're like, yeah, we have something better in our front court instead of Wemby and Lauri Markkanen. We see a lot of progression for this young team. Like I said, Colin Sexton, last year of his deal, I don't think there's a team option. Yes, it's a flat-out final year, $18.9 million. 26 years old. Like, Colin Sexton is still fairly young. Efficient combo guard off the bench. I think that could net me a nice first-round pick at the deadline. And we are going to release Drew Eubanks as well. I had to do the same with Kenneth Lofton. And looking at this rotation, like I said, I think I'm going to have George be at the 2. I'm going to start Nolan Traore, the 5th overall pick out of France. I mean, perfect size for a modern-day point guard. I think he can actually be a nice facilitator. I'm a fan of this starting 5. At least offensively. Maybe, honestly, we have Hendricks come off the bench this year. We'll see what Collins can do at the 4. And yeah, now we have Zach Collins and John Collins on the same team. I do want Sexton to come off the bench as a 6-man. He can get 28 minutes a night. We're going to go 24 to Hendricks. We'll go 20 to Collier. I'm not going to play Julian Champagnie or Zach Collins. I want to get Bryce Sensabaugh in there. I want to get Ian Jackson in there. I'm going to try to get Kyle Filipowski in there. I think Isaiah Evans is probably going to be in the G League. So I'm going to go about, I don't even know. We'll probably go like 17 to Collier. We're going to go 8 to Sensabaugh. We'll do 11 to Ian Jackson. Jackson. So Kyle Filipowski is probably not going to crack the rotation right now, and I'm going to send Isaiah Evans to the G League. Another Duke Blue Devil joining Filipowski on this team, even though they did not cross paths. So we're 3-star balanced under Will Hardy. Our pick is top 10 protected once again. We started the win with the season with a very close win over Sacramento, and then we ended up getting blown out by the reigning champions, the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm okay with being bad this year as long as I'm able to keep my pick in the top 10. All right, so we're at the trade deadline with a 20-31 record, which is better than last year, and we are not at the bottom of the Western Conference. That goes to the Phoenix Suns. I can see why Houston wanted those picks. Offensively, we are middle of the pack. We're pretty much 10th in the Western Conference. Defense, though, is where we're not really great right now, and that's a shame because maybe Walker Kessler really isn't anchoring this defense as I would have liked him to. Cody Williams has been improving in year number 2, and he's looking like maybe a franchise building block for us. John Collins, I almost said Zach Collins, really good offensive player. I mean, we'll see what the extension looks like. Colin Sexton is having an incredible year. We could bring him back as well, but I think I'm going to look to move him. Nolan Troyer is averaging 7.7 assists as a rookie, 36 from 3 as well. Keontae George has been more efficient this year as more of a 2 and giving me 6 assists a night. Also, Collier, solid point guard off the bench. Hendricks, I think, could be slotted in as a starter. We'll see. And I'd like to give Ian Jackson more run, but that will come with a Colin Sexton trade, which we're going to look at that right now. And I'm actually going to re-sign John Collins. He could be a backup big man. He could be a starting big man. 3 years, $15 million per year. I'm going to do it at a flat rate, so it's going to be $60 million total. Excuse me, $45 million. I can't do math. And we are going to send Colin Sexton to the New York Knicks in exchange for Rui Hachimura and a future first-round pick, which will be, I believe, 2030, which is a pick the Knicks still own because they gave up most of them in the Mikal Bridges trade. We're getting Rui Hachimura, who I'm going to also try to flip after this deal, but thank you for your service, Colin Sexton. Unfortunately, I can't really find a deal that can get me a first-round pick for Rui Hachimura, so I may just play him a little bit. We'll see. But I kind of just want to see what I can get out of the starting 5. We're going to play Ian Jackson some more minutes as well. He can get like 17 a night. Let's give Sensabaugh about 11 minutes, and we can do the same with Kyle Filipowski. He can get about 13 minutes a night. Hachimura, yeah, I'm not really going to play. He's been fine for what he is as a 27-year-old. I'm just going to kind of buy him out, let him go to a contending team because I'm not re-signing him anyway. So I'd rather see what I can get out of the young core, and we'll see if the Knicks can go far with their new addition of Colin Sexton. And Luka Doncic wins MVP. Nolan Troyer, Rookie of the Year, not Cooper Flag. Let's go. That is huge for our development. Josh Giddey, 6 Man of the Year in Golden State. Wemby Depoy, Stephon Castle, Most Improved, Damian Lillard, Clutch Player of the Year, and Mark Daigneault, Coach of the Year. Once again, we don't get anybody on All-NBA or defensive teams, but we do get Nolan Troyer on All-Rookie First Team and Ian Jackson on All-Rookie Second Team. Really good efficiency for the youngster out of UNC. So once again, we did not make the play-in tournament, which is fine. We are now 26-56 here in the post-Lauri Markkanen era, even though he didn't really win too much there in Brooklyn. But yeah, we were still, we finished last in the Western Conference, which is fine. Like, we still get our first-round pick. It's still top 10 protected. And I really like the direction of this young core going forward. I like bringing back John Collins. Like, we need some veterans on the team. And the NBA Finals are between the OKC Thunder and the New York Knicks, so the Collins Sexton deal worked out for them. They were a 7 seed, and they win the NBA Finals, and Julius Randle is your Finals MVP with horrible efficiency. There goes Kyle Lowry, Brook Lopez, James Harden, Derrick Rose. They all retire. Draymond Green as well. And James Harden is heading to the Hall of Fame. Couple jersey retirements. Lowry by the Raptors, which will happen. Yeah, all these will happen. So let's see. 2K has it as the Thunder own this pick right now, but we do get it. We have Minnesota's pick at 6 as well from the Gobert trade. So let's see if we get lucky. And our pick is going to be at number 4 here in the 2026 draft. We get Minnesota's pick at number 8. And we also have Cleveland's pick at 27 from the Donovan Mitchell trade. So we are going to sign Will Hardy to a 4-year extension, about $11 million per year. And we are here at the 2026 draft. So I'm cool with getting Darren Peterson. I'm cool with getting Cameron Boozer. Obviously, AJ Devanta would be great. I don't know if one of those guys fall to 4. We'll see. I don't really know if I want Bryson Tiller. We don't really need Ellis Harrington. Maybe we get Koa Pete. I could think about trading the pick or trading down if there's somebody we don't really love. AJ Devanta to Miami is kind of sick. Number 2, Cameron Boozer to Brooklyn. All right, let's see if Memphis goes with Darren Peterson. I think that's a clear 1, 2, and 3. And they go with Aiden Sheridan out of Alabama. All right, so we're going to get another wing on this team. I'm going Darren Peterson, who probably has higher upside than Keontae George right now. And with the 8th overall pick, I'm going to take Koa Pete out of Arizona, getting another front court member. And for the 3rd straight year, we're going to have multiple first-round picks, 3 of them. We're going to get Sidi Gay there out of Senegal, brother Mohamed Gay here at the end of the first round. So we are going to sign all 3 of these guys going forward. We're going to pick up the team options on George, Hendricks, Collier, and Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh never really got a full chance here in Utah for sure, but I don't think he's going to be in the rotation next year. We do have the young assets to make a deal. And do I want to pay Walker Kessler a ton of money? He wants 20 million. I mean, that's not bad. And we're going to send Bryce Sensabaugh to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2029 unprotected first-round pick. So we do have enough money to go out and get Trae Young if we wanted to. We can get Cam Thomas. We can get Jimmy Butler. I just don't really see the timeline for those guys on this team right now. I'm hoping we'll have some cap space next year. The problem is, though, we will have Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks being free agents. I mean, I think I can get a nice deal for Kessler, and it'll definitely be movable. And I guess right now, like, who's really signing with the Utah Jazz? And I'd like to bring back Filipowski also. And Kessler actually, he takes a deal from the Hawks. 3 years, $57 million. Damn, I thought I was going to get him on a much better deal. And I'm going to bring back Filipowski on a 1+1 team option next year. Player progression, Keontae George, 84. Nolan Traore, 84 as well. There's Walker Kessler, John Collins, Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, Ian Jackson, 78 overall. I like this young core. Hopefully we can flirt with the play-in tournament next year. And for year number 3, I think we're going to start Darren Peterson and Keontae George. Actually, no, I'll probably have him come off the bench. I actually might start Peterson, and then George can kind of transition into that Colin Sexton role. We just have so much young talent on this team right now. Like, Kobe Pete's probably going to get like 15 minutes a night. Ian Jackson about 14. Like, I don't think I'm going to have minutes for Gay or Evans or Filipowski right now because I want to play Nolan Traore a ton. I want to give 30 to the wings. And I want to play Taylor Hendricks at least a little bit. So, yeah, I think we have a lot of young talent. We're kind of like the Houston Rockets right now where we got to, I think, offload some of this young talent for a big guy, either at the deadline or in the offseason. All right, so there we go. We're seeing that young improvement this year, 25 and 25, similar to what the 2024 Houston Rockets were. We're currently 6th in the Western Conference. I don't think I'm going to sell at this deadline. The last 2, we've moved guys like Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. I think this year we're going to stay relatively similar to what we want to be here in the 2025 season. So, we're basically, our number 1 guy is Nolan Traore, who has been an absolute beast. His efficiency has been better from the line, better from 2, but not from 3 this year, which is interesting to see. Cody Williams, his numbers haven't gone up too much either, but we've added in Darren Peterson, another kind of score first wing. Keontae George is going to get paid this offseason. Do I sell him now? I don't know. I mean, that could be like a sign and trade this offseason. Collins off the bench is a really efficient scorer. Hendricks hasn't really taken that leap that I would have liked him to. Yeah, we just have a lot of young guys right now. I don't know if I'm going to make any moves. Like, do I want to move Hendricks right now if I'm not going to sign him in the offseason? I wish there was, like, somewhat of an expectation because I don't really know how much, like, Hendricks would want. Don't know how much Keontae George would want. So I think we're just going to see if this team can make the playoffs for the first time in this video. So Victor Wembanyama wins MVP here in the 2027 season. Cam Hoosier is your rookie of the year, him playing with Lauri Markkanen. They got Trae Young coming off the bench in San Antonio with Wemby. I mean, that could happen this offseason still. Most improved goes to Dylan Harper and Luka, clutch player of the year. Nobody on the All-NBA or defensive teams, but we do get Darren Peterson on All-Rookie first team. And the young Utah Jazz are the 3 seed in the Western Conference. That's what I'm talking about. We're taking on the Sacramento Kings, who have added Jeremy Shohan to this team and Marvin Bagley, a reunion in Sacramento. That's funny. And I'm really excited to see if we could beat them. I mean, they are probably better than us on paper, even though we are the 3 seed. If we look at the point differential numbers here in the West, we did have the 4th best. That is fine, but like 2.2 isn't great. Like, we'll see how far this young team can go. Game number 1, we do lose to Sacramento by 13. They have so much more experience than us. I mean, like, Cody Williams was great. Nolan Traore was terrible. Darren Peterson wasn't good either. Game number 2 goes to the Sacramento Kings. They just have so much more experience than us. Bad shooting nights from the youngins. Game 3 goes to Sacramento once again. They blow us out by 44 points. All right, Nolan Traore has been horrendous in this playoff series, which is unfortunate. Keontae George has been horrible as well, just the inexperience catching up. Cody Williams has definitely been our best player. Can we at least win 1 game? No, we got swept by the 6-seeded Kings. All right, at least we are trending in the right direction. Ian Jackson, 4 for 10. Keontae George was terrible. Shea is your Western Conference Finals MVP, and LaMelo in the East, and the Thunder end up winning in 5 with Shea winning Finals MVP. So once again, we got to get through the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're just so tough to beat. So Jimmy and Vucevic retire on the Hawks. DeRozan retires after beating us this playoff run. And lottery time, the Thunder will, actually, I don't know if they would be getting our first round pick now, but we are projected to get the 13th pick via the Timberwolves. That'd be very nice, and that is the case. We also have 17 via the Lakers from the Jordan Clarkson trade, and we have 28 as well. Yeah, I think we are in position to make a big move this offseason. I think we're going to draft a bunch of guys, and then we're going to look to make a trade. So Roderick McKinney went number 1 to the Grizzlies. Looks really good. There's Jess House. He goes number 3. So we got Damian House Jr. at 13. Pretty good. 6'9" wing out of Virginia Tech. We got Jonathan Stewart Jr. Not sure if he's the son of the former Panthers running back, but he is a power forward wing hybrid out of San Francisco. And we got Steve Newman, a forward as well out of Indiana. So we're going to pick up the team option on all these guys right here. And now we are in position to go out and make a trade trade. So before we even do that, like, we're going to extend those qualifying offers. I don't know if we're going to sign them. I'm not going to be able to sign Kawhi Leonard. I don't really want to sign Drew Holiday. I don't know what position we're going to look for. Maybe it's an upgrade at the 5. And Anthony Davis is coming off an elite year for the Lakers and is in the final year of his deal. I mean, this would be interesting. Like, would I be able to slide them Walker Kessler, or not Walker, yeah, Walker Kessler, Damian House, and I'll give you Kyle Filipowski as well for Anthony Davis, who's in a expiring deal. They say no. I will also throw in Jonathan Stewart, who we just drafted. That's a decent amount. They say no. And the last piece I will throw in is, I'll throw in Isaiah Evans. That's a lot for Anthony Davis. They say no. Okay, not happening. What about Alperen Şengün from Houston? We'll start off with a 4-for-1. That's going to include Kessler, House Jr., Stewart Jr., and Kyle Filipowski. And that got it done. All right, so welcome to the team, Alperen Şengün. Still an offensive-minded guy. I don't know how our defense is going to be. I'm going to still look to bring back Hendricks and Keontae George. Hendricks wants a solid contract. Like, I'm comfortable paying him this amount. This, though, is a decent amount for Keontae George, but I wonder if I can get him to come back to sending without another team throwing an offer at him. Similar to what, like, Keldon Johnson got from the San Antonio Spurs a couple years ago. So we're going to do this deal. 4 for 62 for Hendricks, 5 for 122 for Keontae George. And we're ready to roll next year with our new stud, Alperen Şengün, on the team. So player progression, this looks really good. We're going to get a nice Nolan Traore, Alperen Şengün pick and roll. Keontae George is definitely going to come off the bench. I really like the wing duo of Cody Williams and Darren Peterson. Isaiah Collier could be some trade bait as well if it comes down to it, but I like the Kobe Pete, like Taylor Hendricks front court duo. Collins is a nice veteran big man behind Şengün. I do wonder how our defense is going to look, though. Yeah, I guess Isaiah Evans or Sidi Gary are never going to crack the rotation, but it's going to be Traore, Peterson, Cody Williams with Hendricks and Şengün in the front court, with Keontae George, John Collins, Isaiah Collier, Kobe Pete, and Ian Jackson off the bench. This is 4-star balanced under Will Hardy. First 3 games of the year against Western Conference teams, the Warriors, the Rockets, and the Nuggets. We beat the Warriors, we beat the Rockets, and we beat the Nuggets, and we beat the Timberwolves. Wow, we are looking phenomenal offensively. 143, 136, 112, 140 to start off the year. That is kind of insane. As Şengün against his former team went off with a 28-point triple-double. You'll love to see it. All right, so we are here at the trade deadline, 38-13. We have seen the natural progression of this team in this video. We have a 74% winning percentage. We are great at home, great on the road. Offensively, we are the best team in the Western Conference. Defensively, we are number 2. We have a 10.8 point differential, but the Spurs are really good. Ed and Andre Jackson defensively, damn. And they have Colin Sexton. Funny. Okay, we'll keep an eye on them, but we're 25 games above 500, so I am very happy with where we are. Şengün has just been an offensive hub for us. Wow, this guy has been a stud. Should be in MVP conversations, kind of like the Sabonis type numbers, but Darren Peterson has been so good since he's entered the league. 9.5 assists per game for Nolan Traore, elite shooter as well. I like Cody Williams, but he's going to be on this rookie contract, which is so valuable for us. We could be in the market to make a move if we wanted to break up some of this young core, but honestly, I think we could win it all this year. Contract extensions, though, we do have a deal, like, could happen with Collier. Honestly, we're going to re-sign him, but if we do make a move in the offseason, it could include this nice contract that is movable. And we'll add on 2 more years to John Collins' deal, who's been here from the start. I thought I was going to move Collins at one point, but he's been a staple veteran for us. Luka Doncic wins MVP. Sebastian Anderson is your Rookie of the Year, 9th overall pick out of Washington State. Nikola Topic, 6th Man of the Year. Wemby Depoy, Most Improved goes to Gilo Bethea. Donovan Mitchell, Clutch Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year is Will Hardy. Boom, there we go. We actually may be favorites to win it all this year. We got Şengün on All-NBA second team. We have treated him like an offensive hub, and I think Will Hardy has done a phenomenal job with him. And we are the 1 seed in the Western Conference going up against the 8-seeded Denver Nuggets. They got Dig Pate, they got Jokic, Gordon, Porter, Murray still. Like, they still have a very good team over there, and the best player in the series with Jokic. But we have mini Jokic here in Alperen Şengün. But can we beat the Denver Nuggets? In game number 1, Denver wins. All right, by 3 points, and we were at home. That is unfortunate. We do have a deep rotation out there. We may have to trim it a little bit as the playoffs go along, but we outscore them by 20 here in game number 2. Collier was great. Great game for Nolan Traore. Şengün got it done. Same with Darren Peterson and Cody Williams. Game 3 goes to the Utah Jazz by 4 points. Jokic had a 34-point triple-double. It was not enough. Game number 4 goes to the Utah Jazz. Boom. We end up winning by 13. Traore with 26. Şengün with 21, 8-8. And here we go. Game number 5 goes to the Utah Jazz. We win 126-104. Nolan Traore with 22. Keontae George with 20. Peterson with 18. Collier with 16. And we're going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks here in round number 2. Wow, funny enough, they have Johnny Juzang. Oh my god, that is hilarious that he's playing that well. Former Utah Jazz in this video. They also have Brandon Podziemski off the bench. Can we beat them? Game 1 goes to the Mavericks. They also have Nolan Essengay, who's in the 2025 draft, fellow Frenchman with Nolan Traore. I think we're going to trim this rotation a little bit. All right, so I'm actually starting Koa Pete over Taylor Hendricks, and we go down 2-0. Oh, man, that is brutal. Luka with 36. Maybe we're not ready for the big moment. Game 3 goes to Utah. We won by 1 point in overtime on the road in Dallas. No one was great. Same with Şengün. Same with Cody Williams. Peterson was fine. Can we tie up the series? Yes, we can. We win a massive Game 4 by only 5 points. There we go. Şengün, George, and Traore all with double-doubles. Game number 5 goes to Dallas. They win by 1. No. And here we go. Game number 6 on the road in Dallas. Can we force a game number 7? Winner takes on the OKC Thunder. They beat the Spurs in the quarterfinals. We're currently up by 9 here. Can we force a game 7? Up by 11. It doesn't. Oh, man. We're only up by 6 with 2 minutes to go. Oh, please don't choke it. All right. We're up by 7. Up by 9. It looks like we are going to a game 7. We win by 9. Nolan Traore and Alperen Şengün were phenomenal. Here we go. Game 7 in Utah. Dallas versus Utah. Here we go. Let's see what can happen here. We have a very competitive first half. We're all tied up here in the third. Man, Isaiah Collier is getting it done. He's such a good backup point guard. He really is. All right, we have a phenomenal third quarter. We outscored them by 18 in it. Let's go, and that's going to set us up to come back down 3-2. We beat them by 20. Şengün with 24. Collier with 20. And the Utah Jazz are in the conference finals to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder have a very good team. Game 1 goes to the Jazz. We win 141-21. Şengün with 28, 12, and 10. Cody Williams was fantastic. Traore was fantastic as well. Game number 2 goes to the Jazz. Let's go. We win by 46. Monster numbers from Şengün, Traore, Keontae George off the bench. Man, Şengün is showing out here. He is making the Thunder regretting trading his draft rights back in 21 as we go up 3-0. And can we sweep them? All right, that's fine. They beat us by 7. Can we gentlemen sweep them? Boom, there we go. It's always scary. They win game 4. Could they make it a 7-game series? We end up winning in 5. Şengün, unreal. Unreal pickup for us. Going up against LaMelo, Ace Bailey, Brandon Miller, Jaime Jaquez, Luka Garza. It's a good team. I think we're better. They have a weak spot at the 5, but having like Jaquez, Miller, Bailey, and LaMelo is a sick 1-4. We do end up winning game number 1, 127-109. Traore with 30 and 10. Şengün with the triple-double. Game 2 goes to the Utah Jazz. We win 111-93. Game 3 goes to the Charlotte Hornets. They win 108-107. Okay. Game 4 goes to the Utah Jazz, 123-98. Peterson with 21 and 11. Cody Williams with 21. Şengün with a triple-double. And game number 5 goes to the Utah Jazz, and we win the 2028 NBA Finals. Man, trading for Alperen Şengün was the best thing I could have made. Thank God the Lakers turned down the Anthony Davis deal because we got somebody that fit our system even better in Alperen Şengün. And we developed this young core, man. Still a very young team. We kept a lot of OG Utah Jazz as well with Keontae George, Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, John Collins, and Taylor Hendricks. 5 guys. I'll take that. And we traded away Lauri Markkanen as well. Let me know what you think the Utah Jazz should do this offseason. Should they move Lauri Markkanen, or should they hold on to him and extend him? Also, I should be having my first NCAA rebuild out this week. I think I'm going to rebuild my alma mater Temple because they have been terrible basically since I went there back in 2017. So be on the lookout for that, and let me know if there's any other teams you want to see throughout the NCAA process. But I'll see you guys in that video, and you'll get more NBA content. Don't worry, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.